Sementilli, defendants present, all counsel present, jury, and alternate present. Mr. Vallorano, you are still under oath. You may continue with your direct examination.
Thank you. I think when we ended before the break, we were talking about the offers that you relayed to the defendant. Did she eventually sell Fabio's Porsche back?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And that was for the lower offer, is that right?
Yes, and I had, I was trying to say to her, well, if we wait 2 weeks, you'll get more money. But she was pretty set on selling it.
Okay. Did she subsequently purchase a new vehicle for herself?
I don't recall, but I guess she did, yeah.
Well, did you ever see the Mustang?
No, because prior to that, I was a little stunned because Fabio.
Sustained.
You weren't aware that she purchased a Mustang?
No.
Is that what you're saying? Did you and Fabio often go with Nick and Diego to car shows and things like that?
Every year.
Sustained.
Did you also attend the Wella Memorial in Woodland Hills on May 22nd of 2017 for Fabio?
Overruled.
Yes, I did.
All right. And when you were at the memorial on May 22nd, were you present when the defendant gave a speech and sang "My Way"?
I'll allow this.
Yes, I did.
All right. Did she appear to be in mourning by the time of the May memorial?
Sustained.
Did she appear to you to be somebody who was still grieving the loss of her husband from what you observed?
Sustained.
Did you see the defendant crying or anything of that nature?
It's overruled. Overruled.
What I saw was what seemed like a performance of My Way,
Okay.
which left me a little, sent a chill up my spine, actually.
Sustained.
Did you also attend the funeral and the catered luncheon in Canada at the beginning of February in 2017?
It's overruled.
Yes, I did.
You and your wife flew up to Canada?
Yes, we did.
At some points after that, did you learn about the defendant's arrest?
Yes, I did.
And after her arrest, did you still try to maintain a relationship with Fabio's daughters?
Yes.
Sustained.
Did you, prior to his death, have a relationship with the defendant's brother-in-law, Grant Larson?
Yes.
We
Was he someone that you and Fabio played golf with?
should make an offer of proof at sidebar, counsel.
Sure.
Proceed.
Thank you. The relationship between you, the defendant's brother-in-law, Grant Larson, Fabio, did the three of you often get together, play golf, things of that nature?
Yes. Whenever Grant was in town, Fabio and I would meet up with him. We'd play golf. We'd have lunch, drinks. We were together a lot.
Okay. And did you also have various conversations with him and the defendant's sister after the defendant was arrested for Fabio's murder?
Yes, I did.
And did you and Grant and the defendant's sister often discuss, subsequent to her arrest, the fact that everybody was aware she was, at that point, had been having an affair?
Counsel, I wish you to get to the point that we talked about at sidebar, please.
All right. At some point in time, did Grant come into town after the murder and come by to your house for drinks?
Yes, he did.
And did he, when he came to your home, was he with his wife, the defendant's sister?
Yes, Anna.
Okay. And did you go out to the front of the home to greet him?
Yes.
Rule.
Yes, he buzzed the front gate, and I opened my front door, and I went out to meet them.
Okay. And was Anna on the phone at that point in time?
Yes, Anna was on the phone. I didn't know she was coming. I thought it was just Grant and I getting together, that he was in town, we were going to have some drinks and smoke a cigar, but what happened was that Anna was walking behind him on the phone, and she said, "Ernie, there's someone that wants to say hello to you," and she handed me the phone, and it was Monica from jail, and she said, "Oh, when this is all over, we'll get back together again."
The defendant said that to you?
Yes, Monica.
Were you shocked?
Yes.
Wait one moment.
Calls for speculation and argument.
Actually, so rule on those grounds, it is irrelevant.
Okay. Would it be safe to say that that was the last time you spoke to Grant and Anna?
Yes, that was the last time.
I have nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Vallorano, am I correct that you and Fabio were extremely close as
Yeah.
friends?
I thought so, yes.
And is it fair to say that you have continued to be extremely close with Fabio's sister, Morella?
We hardly talk, so ever since the murder, nobody's been talking to anybody, really.
So you haven't spoken to her and
No, I mean, I feel close for her. I love their family. Both, it's a really hard situation when you feel for the people that you knew, Grant and Anna, and also both sides of the family. My heart was bleeding for everyone.
Yes, yes. When was the last time you spoke with Morella Rota?
Probably today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before today, when was the last time you spoke to her?
So rule.
Before today?
Yes, sir.
I don't remember talking to her, actually, for the longest of time.
Okay. Do you ever remember talking to her between Fabio's death and now?
Probably maybe 2 times.
Okay, okay. Am I correct that you had, when you spoke to the police back in 2017, you mentioned something about a business that Morella was involved in?
When I spoke to about Morella?
Uh-huh.
Are you referring to PhD, my company?
Yes.
Okay. Fabio suggested that there was an opportunity in brushes and combs, and he said, "Look, you have an opportunity. If you can design this line," he goes, "Why don't you talk to Morella about it?" And he did a 3-way call, and she came on the phone, and we asked her, "What do you think about this?" I don't remember, the details, but what do you think about this brush, and what the length should be, and what would you use it for, and things of that nature.
And did you ever pursue that business?
I made prototypes, yes.
Okay, and when was that?
Allow it.
When did I make the prototypes?
Yes, when did you start the business? You started the business?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was a registered business. I actually was doing it for probably right around the time I met Fabio, actually, because
Okay.
I did sell to Weller. Yeah.
And he was your partner?
Partner? No.
Yeah. It wasn't, any piece of the business was not
No,
involved
it's
Fabio?
100% mine,
Okay.
yes.
And you never involved Morella in the PhD business at all?
No, outside of that one phone call, no.
Okay. And did you ever involve Monica in that business or discuss doing that business with Monica?
Only after Fabio was murdered.
Okay. And you, I think you testified earlier that at some point you had offered her a job?
Yes.
And
Well,
when-
I offered her that position to take that company and develop it.
So when you say take that company, what did you offer her, if I may ask?
To come, at the time, I had in my warehouse, I told her I could set up an office for her in the warehouse, and she can manage that business.
Okay. And when did you make that offer to her?
It was sometime before she was arrested. I don't remember the exact month or time.
I think at the time you said that you had discussed a job offer with her close to when she was arrested?
Yeah, before she was arrested.
Okay.
Correct.
That would have been late May or early June?
I guess so, yes.
And she never said no, correct?
She did not say no.
Okay.
She said she'd think about it.
Terrific, okay, thanks. You spoke earlier, Mr. Vallorano, about going with Fabio Sementilli to a vending machine
Yeah.
in the valley
Mm-hmm.
and buying $500 worth of Bitcoin,
He
correct?
did.
He did.
Yes.
Okay. Am I correct? You never saw any wallet that Fabio had or
No.
had
I
any
wish.
access to?
At the time, it wasn't so, like, I didn't know about wallets and keys, and you need to have a safety, I didn't know about it. He was the one who was telling me about it, and I remember pulling into the parking lot. He got out, and he went to the machine, and he purchased $500 worth of Bitcoins, and he told me he does it every month.
Okay. But you never saw any Bitcoin wallet
No,
or balance
no.
that had more than $500 in it, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay. And you never had any conversation with Monica indicating at all that she was aware of a wallet address or how to access Bitcoin, correct?
I said to her that, Fabio was buying these Bitcoins, make sure do you know about them? Can you access it? And yeah, and now it's hazy. I know she said, I think I got it, like she knew about it.
Meaning awareness that he had bought some Bitcoin.
Yes.
Okay. But nothing about her having access to his wallet, his digital wallet?
Not specifically, no, I don't remember that.
And you're aware, are you not, that in order to actually access Bitcoin or benefit from it in any way, you actually have to have a very specific wallet address? And
Yes, now I'm aware. Now I am.
Okay.
At the time, I didn't know. There was no Coinbase or one of these places that you could easily purchase and sell. It was very early on, and Bitcoin was a few $1,000s, I think, a coin at that time.
Yes.
Yes.
But that was the only experience you had
Yes,
with
I
Fabio?
didn't know about it.
I just wanted to make sure that we were clear. Mr. Vallorano, you spoke about traveling with Fabio to Thailand on a golf trip.
Yes.
And you had taken other golf trips with him as well?
Locally, not overseas. That was our first time that we actually did a boys' trip just to play golf.
And that was just you and Fabio, correct?
Just the two of us.
Okay. And you spoke earlier, and I think you mentioned when you spoke to the police back in 2017 that Fabio was not a guy who went out and partied. In fact, on this trip, he would go home every night to the hotel and FaceTime or Skype with Monica, correct?
100%. He was a fun-loving guy, but he was really family-oriented. And right after dinner, he'd rush back. He'd be looking at the clock to see when they were the time, because there's I think a 14-hour difference then. at that. And he would go back and say, I got a FaceTime every night.
And you said that he would share intimate stuff about his relationship and life, correct?
Yes, especially family life, yes.
And you, I think back in 2017 at least, you described that he told you he was happy and that Monica was very dedicated. Is that right?
I don't know if he said those particular words, but if you looked at them, it looked like an ideal, I mean, that's why we got along so well. You know, I was in a happy marriage. It looked like he was in a happy marriage. He loved his kids. We talked about their futures and helping them, and it was all about loving family.
I think you said at the time that if Fabio had any kind of trouble in his relationship, he would have talked to you about it.
I want to believe that if he specifically knew, I would hope he would, and that I could talk to him about it. But if he just suspected, I doubt he would, because he was a kind of I think he was a good judge of character, but it took a while. Like, when I first met him, I didn't do business with him for a long time. He would make sure you were a dependable person and somebody he'd want to do business with. It was just social with us for the first year or two.
Got it. But at no time did he ever mention or say to you that he was unhappy with Monica or complained about Monica in any way?
No, that's why that one night in Thailand, when he said you can't, and if you knew Fabio, to hear a statement like that after seeing the way their relationship was, to say to me, you know, you can't trust your wife, you can only trust your mother, that really bothered me, and it didn't hit me, and it made me think about it, like, for a long time afterwards.
It really hit you, but you didn't follow up with any questions, correct?
No, because right after he said that, he got up and went to do the Skype or whatever it was with his family.
With Monica?
Yes.
And you never mentioned it again to him?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And when you socialized with them after you got back from Thailand, you went over to each other's houses,
Yes.
correct? And you had an opportunity to observe Monica, correct?
Yes, I did.
And everything you observed was loving and attentive to Fabio, correct?
After his murder, you mean?
No,
Or-
before.
before, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
And-
Just that one time with the sandwich, that was the only time I ever seen him act like they might have had a fight the night before or something was off. But
Okay.
prior to that, never.
And when was that?
That was I guess it was the day before he was murdered, because I left that morning while he was murdered. I was in the air. So it had to be the day or the day before, 2 days before.
So that would have been Saturday, January 21st, 2017?
Yes, right around then.
Okay.
That was the only time I saw something that looked like they weren't getting along.
Okay, but I think you described earlier that she made sandwiches for the two
That's
of you?
the time I'm talking about.
Yes.
I accepted it gladly, but he didn't. He just like, it was weird. She had to put it down, and he just ignored her. Like it wasn't the normal reaction that you would see from Fabio.
Okay, I'm confused. Are you saying he didn't eat the sandwiches?
No, he didn't eat the sandwich. I ate mine. He just left his there.
Okay.
And then we went, I ate it, and then we fixed it, and that was it.
Okay. I'm a little confused, Mr. Vallorano. You spoke to the LAPD. You were in fact interviewed.
Yes.
Were you not, on the 21st of February, about a month later,
Yes, I was
correct?
there, yes.
Okay. And you described to them specifically about the power washer that Fabio had bought, correct? And that he'd asked you over to the house to fix the power washer, correct?
Correct.
and you came over to fix the power washer, and you thought it was really nice that Monica had made sandwiches and brought them out.
I did.
But nowhere in there did you ever describe this incident you're testifying about today, where you say that she brought out the sandwiches and Fabio looked upset. Correct?
That's true. And when he asked me, I was shocked. I was a little appalled that I remember distinctively, he said, do you know if Fabio had an affair? And I said, no, he would never. And he said, do you know if Fabio suspected Monica of having an affair? And I was kind of upset that he even asked me that. I said, no way. I would have never believed that she was, capable of that.
Okay.
That would have happened.
Okay. Mr. Vallorano, am I correct that at the same time you spoke to the police and you were actually interviewed yet again, correct? You spoke to a Detective Roberts and a couple of DAs at some point?
I don't recall that, but I guess I did. I remember there might have been one phone call after that initial meeting in person.
Okay. Well, let me go back to this 50th birthday golf trip that you spoke of earlier. Okay. Fabio had told you specifically, I think you mentioned in at least a couple of your interviews, that Fabio had told you that Monica was planning his 50th, which would have been in July, correct?
He did. He said that Monica was going to arrange a townhouse for all of us, and that she was going to, I don't know, I kind of remember that she would we'd be able to play twice a day and have lunch, and it sounded great.
Okay. So when Ms. Silverman asked you earlier if you and the friends were planning the trip, you very specifically recalled back in 2021 and 2017 that your understanding was Monica was planning this trip
For Fabio.
for Fabio.
Objection, assumes facts, not evidence.
It's over.
Is that correct?
Say it again?
That your understanding was very specifically that it was Monica who was planning the trip and had found the townhouse and...
Yeah, she was involved, you're right. But they both, I guess they both planned it because he's talking to me about it.
And back in 2017 and again in 2021, you very specifically remembered that it was Monica, after Fabio died, who approached you and offered to give the money you had contributed back and that you had declined.
Yes, I remember we were in her kitchen and she brought it up. She said, oh, you paid for this trip, take the money back. And there was no way I was going to take the money back from her when, I didn't know if she had any income coming in, or it just didn't seem right. So I said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And that was the last I spoke of it.
Understood. If we could touch on the Porsche for a minute. I think you testified earlier that you assisted Fabio Sementilli in buying the Porsche.
Yes.
And that was in anticipation of his 50th birthday. He wanted to buy a toy, I think you had at one point said.
Yeah, I don't know if I use that word toy, but I had been buying and selling Porsches for a while, and sometimes on the way to the golf course we would switch cars, and I'd say he had a really nice BMW at the time, and he said, let's switch cars, and I would drive his car, he would drive mine, and then he started to fall in love with the Porsche car, so he was like, oh, I think I want to get one. So then I would introduce him to certain people. I think at the time we were trading like info on cars that were for sale, and that's how it happened.
And he was actually at first considering a different car. He was considering the Camaro, which was coming out in a year, and
The
the
Z1.
Mustang.
Not the Mustang.
You-
I specifically remember him saying he doesn't like the Mustang. At the car show with Nick and Diego, Fabio loved to have his photo taking in everywhere we went. Like if we were riding bicycles,
Right.
he'd say, "Ern, take a photo here." So at the car show, I liked the Mustang. I said, "Fabio, this is kind of cool." He said, "No, I don't like it, the new Mustang. I want to look in the Z1." And I think I even had a photo of him. You know, he made me take a picture in the Camaro and also the Chrysler. I don't know the name, Demon or whatever that big Chrysler car is. And he made me take pictures in both of them.
Okay, so when you told the police in February of 21 that Fabio was deciding at first between a Mustang and a Camaro, that wasn't what he was looking at?
I don't
You said you
remember.
test drove him?
He test drove the Camaro, not the Mustang. I don't recall the Mustang being in the conversation.
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to read the transcript of your
Sure.
recorded statement?
Sure.
Showing you
What I said?
page 110 and 111.
I need lots. Oh, good. It's big.
Yeah, it's
big
big.
enough. Okay.
Directing you to
Here?
111.
It was between a Camaro. He wanted the Camaro.
Right. And the Ford. He bought her a Mustang. He liked the Ford.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, but didn't he buy his daughter the Mustang? Or I remember didn't one of the kids have a Mustang?
Yeah.
Yeah, for them he liked it, but not for him. I think that was it.
Okay, but when you referred to the detective saying he liked the Ford, you just had forgotten that he
Yeah, I
was.
probably,
Understood.
it wasn't specific, so.
Understood. And when you bought the Porsche, helped him buy the Porsche, am I
Right.
correct? He financed a large part of the car. He made a down payment and then financed the rest.
I don't recall that. We went, and I wasn't in on the actual negotiation. I was outside looking at the cars, and when he decided he was going to buy it.
Okay, so when you told the police that you helped Fabio negotiate the price,
Oh yeah, with the salesman, yeah. But I didn't go into that sales managers to do. Or maybe I did sit in on it, but I don't recall numbers, or that was quite a while ago.
okay. But you do recall when you helped Monica sell the Porsche,
Oh yeah.
that there was a significant amount of money that had to be paid on the financing, to pay off the finance company, correct?
I don't recall that, but if you're telling me, yeah, I don't remember.
Well, isn't it true that you took care of the arrangements for selling the Porsche with Eurolux, where the car had originally been purchased?
That is correct. I remember calling up the sales manager because the sales manager at the time told Fabio, this is a really good deal. If you don't want the car after a year, I'll buy it back at the same price. He said that. But after I went to sell the car for Monica, he wasn't exactly holding true to those words, but we tried to get the best price possible.
Okay. And you ended up negotiating the price with him, and
Yes.
it was for $60,000 even, correct?
Is that right? I don't remember the amounts. I'm sorry, but I don't remember the amounts. It's been a long time ago, and I'm in business, and numbers are every day in my head that I wouldn't recall the exact amount.
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to see your texts
Sure.
and attachments of the checks that were paid to the finance company
Sure,
and to Monica?
Please.
Okay. So, if I may, Your Honor, mark,
It is not to be marked.
I can show it to him first and see if it refreshes. May I approach and show you something and see if it refreshes your recollection? Thank you. There's a text.
Okay. It's a big, oh no, I can't read that.
You can't read that?
I'll try.
Okay. And then-
Harry, I'm disappointed you haven't answered me. Monica calls. You promised the check would be mailed the next day after receiving the FedEx. You were forcing us to come down there with a news crew. Should you proof? Expect us to check. It's not mailed to Monica. Okay. And then the
here's the
amount, is
attachments.
this the same as this?
This is to the finance company.
Okay.
What was owed,
44081.
right, and
Your Honor,
this,
I'm going to ask that the witness be allowed to read it to himself. It's meant to refresh recollection.
That's correct.
So it shouldn't be on the record. And I would ask that everything, if there was any,
I would move to
Taken.
strike.
All right, good. It's stricken.
Thank you.
You having trouble reading it, sir?
I'm sorry?
Are you having trouble reading it?
Just the texts are really small, but these
Yeah.
I can see. 1.5?
I don't know. I think they are. I think they are.
Oh, okay, we'll find out right away. Oh, yeah, this is good. Thank you.
So you're able to see that?
Yes, I could see. Oh, I can read this now, too. Okay, so he made a check to Monica for,
This is,
again, Your Honor, I'm going to ask that
okay.
So go ahead. You're not testifying yet. You're just refreshing
yeah.
your
Does that
recollection.
refresh your recollection?
Not really, but, I mean, it is what it is. It's there.
Am I correct that,
I object, Your Honor, if it doesn't refresh his recollection, that's the end of the question.
I don't know what the question is, but you may ask your question.
I'm not going to remember the exact amount. I know, sorry.
is it fair to say in the negotiation that you conducted with Eurolux
Okay.
that the negotiation included paying off what was owed on the car and the balance being returned to Monica?
Yes, if that was the structure, for sure.
And if I told you that the amount owed to the finance company was $44,000 of the $60,000, does that sound like what occurred when you negotiated?
Objection. As the
Sorry?
witness said, he does not.
I understand. It's an improper question.
Do you have an understanding of what was owed on the vehicle
I'm not.
at all?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah.
It's been asked and answered.
It has been asked and answered.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'll move on. Mr. Vallorano, am I correct that when you went to the, well, first of all, let me ask you, Ms. Silverman asked you a number of questions about whether you were aware that Ms. Sementilli had traveled to Las Vegas. Do you recall her asking you that?
That's
Just-
irrelevant.
You asked it. It's overruled.
No, I mean whether he recalls it.
It's overruled.
Yes.
But you didn't have any understanding with Monica Sementilli that she would be reporting to you where she was traveling, correct?
No.
Objection, argument.
Is that no? And Mr. Vallorano, am I correct that you attended the memorial at Wella
Yes.
in May of 2017?
I did.
and you interacted with both Monica Sementilli and her daughters?
What do you mean interacted?
You saw
Oh, I
all
saw
three
them
of
there, yes, of course.
And in fact, when Monica was on stage, her daughters, Jessica and Bella, were up there with her when you testified earlier they were singing My Way, correct?
One objection seems facts not in evidence. As to the daughters.
So what was the question?
The daughters, Jessica
Oh,
and
was
Bella.
it on the stage?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, nothing further.
Anything further, other people?
Your Honor. Thank you. You declined to take money from the defendant because she had been telling you that she was strapped for cash after Fabio's death.
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
Why did you decline to take back your money for the birthday trip that never happened?
Objection, irrelevant.
It's overruled.
I wouldn't take back money from her when she was telling me that she didn't know how she was going to buy, groceries, or she was strapped. So
She told you she didn't know how she was going to buy groceries?
she didn't know how she was going to live on. It was a really bad time for me too. Here I am, like trying. My heart's bleeding for these people, and I
It is not responsible.
You didn't want to take money back from her, you're saying, because she was telling you that she was...
I thought she needed money, so I didn't want to take the money back.
Because she was Fabio's wife,
Yes.
and it was his wife and children.
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
You felt like you owed it to Fabio to help
Right,
his
for
wife and
Fabio.
children?
Argumentative.
Go ahead. Why did you feel the need to constantly be calling the defendant, coming over to help her with things around the house,
This is
offering her jobs,
It's overruled.
things of that nature? Why?
It's my best friend's wife and his kids, and he was murdered, and she was, at the time I just thought she's distraught. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She doesn't know how she's going to live. The insurance money wasn't coming in. It was a terrible time, and there's no way I could, ask, please pay me back in this, why this is happening to you. There's no way. I wouldn't do it for Fabio, and for the kids, and
Well-
for her at the time too.
When you say at the time, that changed over time, once you learned about the affair.
Well, that
Sustained.
You said that when law enforcement asked you if Fabio ever suspected his wife of having an affair, that you were offended by that.
Objection, Ms. Casey Evans, irrelevant, and to the extent asked and answered.
Excuse me. That's overruled on all grounds.
Isn't that what they asked you?
yes,
And you said?
yes, I was offended.
Okay.
I
And-
remember going home like pissed. I was really offended that he was questioning my friend and also Monica. It was beyond my comprehension that this could have been, what he was saying. And I remember my cousin is a detective.
That part is.
Because in your mind, from, again, as what was asked of you on cross, you believed that they had a committed, loving marriage.
Relevant, calls for speculation.
That's
Wrong-
what,
I'm sorry, wrong grounds, counsel. But it is cumulative, and I'm sustaining the objection as to that. Let's move on.
well, I want to redirect as to what was asked on cross, Your Honor. So I'm assuming that when law enforcement was asking you these questions, you didn't have any thought in your head that perhaps the defendant had been having an affair behind Fabio's back?
No way.
No, it's over.
No way I thought that.
No way. And when you learned that the defendant had been arrested for his murder with her lover, that again, would that have been something you never would have thought of when the police were interviewing you in
I
February?
was devastated. I couldn't
A moment,
believe
sir.
it.
Lose your objection? Sustained.
You never suspected during the time that you were rendering aid to the defendant that she might have been involved in her husband's murder?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
I have nothing further.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vallorano, you are excused.
Thank you.
Declare your next witness.
Thank you. People would like to recall Corbin Rowe.
Oath. You may proceed.
Thank you. Detective Rowe, did you text detectives Byers and Farrell and me after you got back to your office
Email.
after testifying this morning?
It was an email.
An email, sorry. And that there was something that you testified to this morning that you realized was incorrect.
That's correct.
Can you tell us what that was, please?
I believe I testified that after the defendant and Robert Baker met up at the Ralph's,
On which day was that?
March 10th, a little bit after 6 p.m. in the evening, I believe I testified that Robert Baker, drove the F-150 back up to the Queen Victoria Road residence. And when I looked at the notes more closely, I think I mixed that up. The notes indicated that it was the number 2 suspect, and the number 2 suspect corresponds with the defendant.
Okay, so the defendant's the one that drove Baker back in her Ford F-150 from that Ralph's location parking lot back to her home on Queen Victoria on March 10th.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And to
I'm sorry.
Yes, and to be clear, I did not make that observation. That observation was made by Detective Montoya
Which was relayed to you, as we discussed this morning.
over the radio, yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Detective Rowe. You are excused.
Thank you.
Declare your next witness.
Thank you. People called Jane Kwan.